Hi, my name's Janelle and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited to be sharing a tutorial on how to make the perfect dress. As you may or may not know, I run a small handmade label called Rosary Apparel where I make handmade dresses from recycled fabric. So as you can imagine, I've made my fair share of dresses over the years. The pattern that I'm using for this tutorial is one that I've drafted myself and have perfected over many years, and I'm really excited to be sharing it with you today as I think it is the perfect gathered dress. As this is one of my own patterns, I just ask that you use it for personal use only. And if you have a go at making this for yourself, then please don't forget to tag me when you share it on your socials, as I would love to see. So without further ado, let's get on to the tutorial. So first things first, you're going to want to download the pattern I've made just for this tutorial. You can find a link to it in the description below this video. Then you need to pick your fabric. This pattern is suitable for nearly every type of fabric: cotton, linen, crepe, even velvet if you like. I'm using a lightweight rayon for this dress, which I'll leave a link to down below if you'd like to make this exact dress. Once you've cut out your template pieces in the size you'd like, lay the pieces out on your fabric and pin in place. I haven't put a skirt piece on the template as it's basically just a rectangle, so for the skirt I recommend cutting out two rectangles approximately 110 centimeters wide, but you can obviously go less or more than this width depending on how full you like your gathered skirts. As for the length of the rectangles, it's completely up to you depending on how long or short you'd like your dress to be. Then cut one of the rectangles in half along the length of the skirt to make your two back skirt pieces. There's a little diagram on the template that explains this in a little more detail if that didn't make complete sense. Cut your pieces out. Place the front bodice template onto the wrong side of the front bodice piece, and with a water erasable pen or tailor's chalk, mark each point of each dart. Do the same for the back bodice pieces. Fold each dart by matching the two bottom markings together and pin in place. Stitch the darts, starting from the top point and without back stitching to the bottom of the dart, creating a kind of triangle shape. Repeat for all darts on both the front and back bodice pieces. Once the darts are sewn, tie off the loose threads at the top point of the darts with a double knot. Then iron the darts flat, making sure to iron them to the centre of the dress. Next, with right sides together, pin the back bodice pieces to the front bodice piece at the shoulder seams. Sew along the shoulder seams, and if you have one, overlock the raw edges. If you don't have an overlocker, you can use a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine or a pair of pinking shear scissors to prevent fraying. I'm going to stop talking about overlocking now, but basically overlock every raw edge as you sew them. Next, we're going to make the facing. The facing helps to create a nice finish along the neckline of the dress. Start by pinning the back facing pieces to the front facing piece at the shoulder seams and with right sides together. Then stitch together. Next, overlock the outside raw edge of the facing. Then head to the iron and hem the freshly overlocked outside edge of the facing and pin in place as you go. Stitch in place. Next, pin the facing to the bodice, right sides together and matching at shoulder seams. Sew the bodice and facing together. Now, this bit's a little bit fiddly. Tuck the facing in behind the bodice by folding it flat and ironing in place, trying not to crease your fabric as you iron. Then, with right sides together, fold the back bodice pieces on top of the front bodice piece, pin in place and sew together at the side seam. Taking the two sleeve pieces, do 2 rows of basting stitch along the top edge of the sleeve from notch to notch. Then fold the sleeve in half, right sides together, and sew along the side seam. Once sewn, hem the bottom of the sleeve by folding over about 1.5 centimeters worth of fabric twice, ironing to help hold it in place. Then stitch the hem down and repeat for the other sleeve. To attach the sleeve to the bodice, pull the 2 rows of basting stitch together in the top of the sleeve a little bit. Then pin the sleeve to the bodice, right sides together, also matching the seams together. Use the gathering stitches to pull in or loosen in order to fit the sleeve into the armhole. Carefully sew both sleeves to the bodice. Then remove the basting stitch with a seam ripper. And that's the bodice done. To make the skirt, start by overlocking the rounded raw edge of all 4 pocket pieces. Then, starting with the skirt front piece, measure 10 centimeters from the top along each of the sides and match the pocket notch with the 10 centimeter point. Pin pockets in place and sew together. Repeat for the skirt back. Once sewn, iron pockets open. Then place the skirt back onto skirt front, right sides together and matching the pocket seams. Pin along the side of the skirt and around the pocket. Sew skirt front and back together along the side seam, turning the needle to go around the pocket. Next, increase your stitch size to the largest possible setting and sew 2 rows of basting stitch along the entire top of the skirt. Pull the threads of the basting stitch and trying to get them as even as possible, gather the top of the skirt until it's the same size as the dress bodice. Then, with right sides together, pin the dress bodice to the gathered skirt, matching the side seams together and carefully stitch in place. Now it's time to attach the zip. I'm using an invisible zip here, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on how to put it in, as there are already so many great videos out there that show how to put a zip in, and I have a feeling this video is getting long enough already. Once the zip is in, sew the remaining back seam of the dress, and then hem the bottom of the dress, again by folding in about 1.5 centimeters worth of fabric twice, ironing to help hold it in place. Then stitch the hem down. Give the dress one last iron all over and it's done. So, how does this dress look? So I hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making it, and I think it's my most favourite one I've put together so far. I'm really proud of this dress design, and I hope you love it as much as I do. Like I said at the start of this video, please tag me if you do have a go at making this dress for yourself, as I would love to see, and credit where possible is always appreciated. If you did enjoy this video, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Also, don't forget to come find me on Instagram to see some of the other things I make. Thanks for watching!